Namaste ji, namaste. So preparing for CLAT. First and foremost, forget the hype, forget the madness, forget the rush. Right now when I'm shooting this is December and this is pretty much the exact time, or rather the correct time to start. Alright. First point, we're going to go point wise, we're going to dissect this entire exam. We'll figure out what to do, what not to do by the end, and then let us see where this train goes. Don't worry about the rankings. So if you are engaged in a perpetual debate online, and I know that this can happen, whether NLS is better or whether NLUD is better or whether NALSAR is better or whether NUJS is better, whatever, don't waste your time in those frivolous debates. अभी तो आपके पास सीट ही नहीं है, रैंकिंग पे डिबेट करके क्या करेंगे? कोरा पे पूरा पूरा दिन आंसर लिखेंगे, आंसर पढ़ेंगे और उसके बाद पेपर नहीं क्लियर होगा, because you were focusing on the wrong area, because instead of preparing you were daydreaming about a thing that you never had, right? अभी तो नहीं है ना सीट, जब सीट आएगी we'll figure it out, जब प्रेफरेंस लिस्ट भरने की टाइम आएगी we'll figure it out. इसमें इतनी परेशानी करने की क्या बात है? I really don't think that it makes any goddamn sense, you know. Take off all your clothes even when you are not on the beach yet, right? You're just in the middle of the town, you've taken off your clothes and the beach is like 10 kilometers away, you'll end up basically taking a loss. Second, stop daydreaming about the packages that you'll get, about that you'll be a corporate lawyer, that the package and the money that is just about to come your way. चिंटू बैठ जाइए, कुछ नहीं होने वाला यहाँ पे, शांति रखिए. फर्स्ट फोकस ऑन द एग्जाम, राइट? पहले ही पैसे, अभी तो कॉलेज भी नहीं पहुंचे, कौन से कोई वहाँ पे आरती की थाल लेके कोई नहीं बैठा हुआ. तभी बैठेंगे ना जब आपका एटलीस्ट पेपर क्लियर होगा, व्हेन यू हैव क्लियर्ड अ कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम व्हिच इज now you're clearing, or rather fighting with 50 to 60,000 odd people and then getting a seat. It's a good thing, it's a mark of your intelligence, all right? So stop daydreaming, you're not going to be Harvey Specter. अगर आप इन सब के साथ एंगेज में हैं, जो ये लोग जो सारा टाइम आपकी कोचिंग में बहुत होंगे, अरे वहाँ से इतना पैकेज है, अरे मेरा पता है सीनियर वहाँ पे बैठा है 20 लाख पक्का है. Run away from these people, I kid you not. ना उनका होने वाला है और ना आपका कुछ होगा. Alright. Third, now let us start off with English. Alright. Now English में अगर आप पैराग्राफ की वर्ड काउंटिंग कर देंगे, obviously I haven't sat down and done the word counting, I've just copied pasted from the question paper and put it in a word counter which is freely available online, or you can put it in Microsoft Word. It will tell you the number of words that are there in each passage. The first para is 421 words, second para is 302, then we head back to 454, the fourth para is 264 and the fifth is 449. So on a rough average the paragraph will not pretty much exceed a 450 word limit, right? And at the very least it will be around the 264 mark. So basically your reading speed has to be good, because in this section of the exam you can score really well, provided that you knew what to study in English, because you will be told English is an endless ocean. What do you study? I'll tell you what to study. First and foremost, the core theme, if you analyze the English section, हम बार बार ये कह रहे हैं या बार बार आपसे पूछा जा रहा है कि ये जो हमारे ऑथर भैया है ना, जिन्होंने ये पैसेज लिखा है, ये कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं? This is pretty much it, right? Author bhaiya will make a comeback in the logical reasoning section as well. So try to watch the video till the end and then we'll decipher each and every section. Alright. And then author क्या कहना चाहते हो भैया? वो एक meme भी थी. I think I'll just put it here. Right? I'm fond of memes. And then parts of speech. Noun कौन सा है? Verb कौन सा है? Adverb कौन सा है? Figures of speech. Simile, metaphors, irony, pun. Right? कुछ याद आ रहा है, synecdoche, metonymy, all right? And then idioms and phrases, and then you need your vocab to tackle those synonyms and antonym type of questions. But primarily speaking, the skill is required here in author साहब कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं. Now vocab is an endless ocean, but vocab is tied into the para, so the para's tone and theme will basically tell you what the word means. So vocab is actually on the easier side if they ask you a direct question from the para. But this requires some skill, that what is the main idea, what does the author want to say, what is this passage all about, right? Because I'll tell you what, out of those 4 options, 2 will be completely baseless and idiotic, just like our Chintu Bhaiya about daydreaming, right? So throw them out of the window. But 2 will be very closely matched. and that requires a certain set of skill, and that can only be basically imparted to you by practice, or somebody basically sitting on your head trying to teach you why the very similar option just may be the incorrect choice. Very difficult to do this online. So this is pretty much, this solves your English. So do this step by step, and I'm sure that you will be able to tackle your English section very, very well. Now we move on to the current affairs and GK section, and I want you to do a thing. Just one thing. Remove the passages from the question paper, and let us say those one-liner MCQs still appeared, just like in the older format prior to 2020. Are those questions invalid without the paragraphs? I think not. Look at the question number 40 and 41 from the 2020 question paper, right? Look at them and see if they were asked to you just in a normal regular exam. Let us say the passage-based format wasn't there, you would still be expected to know them, right? Based on only on your current affairs and static GK knowledge, correct? So therefore, this section actually, to tell you very honestly, is pretty much the easiest section to crack, provided that through the year you have your ears and eyes open, right? For more, you can check out the current affairs playlist, and there are multiple sources. I've also taught how to think about current affairs instead of spoon feeding all the information to you. You can check those videos out in the current affairs playlist, right? But watch out for this habit. So this habit is there that we tend to get obsessed with current affairs and leave out all the other sections. So then it becomes slightly difficult as to score marks, basically. Remember, you are in a competitive exam here, right? You also have to, so just like in boxing, you have to punch someone, and then you also have to dodge a few questions. You also have to dodge the punches, because if you keep on getting hit, you will pretty much get knocked out. So many students make this mistake, that they're obsessed with this section. They're trying to cover out, and they're sitting with a microscope on the newspaper. They forget logical, they forget quant, they forget English, and then, well then you become a chintu. Just keep on daydreaming about rankings and packages, and nothing basically will work out. All right. So current affairs already there. We also have a current affairs course, actually online course. This year we are not offering it individually because our bandwidth costs and the financial costs associated with the course just don't make any sense anymore, because the course is quite heavy, and we have labeled it as AILET because we are unable to create a genuine, true, one-to-one authentic mocks, full-fledged mocks for CLAT. So we'll be creating mocks for AILET, but we'll be doing sectional tests for CLAT in there. Because for me, for a student who can tackle this section in 25 minutes, who can tackle this section in 20 minutes, who can tackle the logical reasoning section in, let's say, 25 to half an hour, and legal reasoning also 25 to half an hour, you pretty much are through the exam. So I've rather focused instead of full-fledged mocks in the CLAT, but that is my approach, and it is just one of many approaches, right? So I want people to actually be able to tackle these sections. So in our test series in the course, we are not offering full-fledged CLAT mocks, but we are offering CLAT sectional series, and that's why we have not labeled it as CLAT. It's not like we have left teaching for CLAT or anything. It's just that creating one-to-one authentic on the exam level quality mocks while not copying from GRE, GMATs of the world, which are insanely tough papers, especially for your age, that is the age of 17, 18-year-olds. We don't like to do that. But any which way, so that is basically the name of the course. The links are in the description. Now, anyway, I think you pretty much are already associated with some help whatsoever. Instead of, and this me already running an academy is telling you that don't go multiple routes, because you will be distracted. Instead of just jiske saath bhi aap hain, whichever academy that you're associated with, just complete their work, all right, and do it well. Whatever you have in your hand, do it well, because that will really significantly aid you in your preparation. Now let's come back to legal reasoning. Legal reasoning mein ab agar analyze the question paper, it's talking about a Hicklin test, it's talking about force majeure, it's talking about polluter pays, it's talking about strict liability. Now you need not have read all of these prior to the exam. Forget strict liability, but all of these concepts. But let us say that you knew all of these prior to the examination. Your reading speed through those passages will shoot through the roof. All right. So whatever they were classically teaching you in coaching regarding law, please do pay attention. So you need not remember an insane amount of, let us say, sections from the IPC, sections from the Contract Act, but you need to know what undue influence or misrepresentation or mistake of fact by party, because the exam doesn't actually require you to know these prior or beforehand, by the way. But if you knew these prior to the examination, your reading speed, remember we are racing against a clock here because we have this length के passages to tackle. If we know all of these, our comprehension level is through the roof of understanding these things because we know them prior, we have heard about them, we have understood them. Our understanding of the passage becomes way higher. Our reading speed goes, again, shoots through the roof. Gives us an advantage in this section. If we're able to tackle it in about, let's say, 25 to 30 odd minutes, it's great. Now, in logical reasoning, that's legal reasoning. So do that, and then, again, it depends on your practice because these are pretty much legal puzzles that you've been doing for so long, those principal fact wale questions, but now they are basically merged together and are slightly more, I would say, have one more layer or one more dimension added to them. All right. Again, just practice, but do get to know these concepts. You can check out the playlist on the channel for that. And especially you can check out the DULLB playlist also because that helps in these topics for you. You need not remember again intricate details about law. I'm only focusing on reading speed about passages. Now we come to logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is basically critical reasoning. So N.K. Pandey becomes, you have to complete that book basically at least once. And then एक और किताब आती है, but I don't think कि उसका level अब, क्योंकि इस साल आपके पास time होगा, इस साल to 2020 it was a pandemic. I suggested it to a few people, they completed their logical reasoning skills, improved markedly, but you were quite young for that. It's basically a book for CLAT. I'll still leave the link in the description if you can manage to go through it at least once. For Wiley's की किताब है, I believe that it's of a significant quality, but it's like 10 times the level that they ask in CLAT. So you need not, may not just want to go through that because you are running with the time constraint, and please get some good marks in your board so that will act as a backup plan so that you end up in a good university, if not in a good NLU, and never become a Chintu again. So Chintu makes a return. So just like Chintu has made a return, the author has made a return. Author यहाँ पे क्या था? हम पूछ रहे थे आपसे कि author कहना क्या चाह रहा है? अगर हम एक गालिब का कपलेट है कि अगर यूं होता तो क्या होता, कि हर एक बात पे यही कहते रहते, बस यही है. दिस इज द एसेंस ऑफ लॉजिकल रीजनिंग कि इस पैसेज में बता दीजिए अगर मैं ये चीज़ हल्की सी मॉडिफाई कर दूं तो क्यों ये क्या होता. दैट इज वीक इन द आर्ग्यूमेंट. स्ट्रेंथ इन द आर्ग्यूमेंट इज बेसिकली अगर वो वाला ऑप्शन है, अगर ये होता तो पैसेज पे क्या असर पड़ता, तो क्या होता, यही तो पूछ रहा है. सो द आर्ग्यूमेंट यू हैव टू basically the assumption you have to identify, the argument you need to know as to how the author is concluding, what is the inference that you can draw out, and then what is strengthening the assumption, what is weakening the assumption. In other words, this is pretty much critical reasoning. All right, and that is what a majority of this section is. But the other side as well. All right, don't skip this. So R.S. Agarwal, verbal and non-verbal reasoning becomes your Bible, Gita, Quran for this. Direction test, blood relations, syllogism, sequences series, coding, decoding. Please complete 200 questions each. You need to know this stuff. Because what if the majority of the paper actually in 2020, so it was like, let us say a 70-30 split. Let us say in 2021 they reverse it. They have only labeled this as logical reasoning, right? So this is combined. So you need to be prepared for both eventualities. All right. So this is pretty much verbal reasoning. This you can say comes in the format of non-verbal reasoning. So again, your sequence series, blood relations, kaun sa chacha mama taya, etc., etc. Right? And if you have made so far in the video, because most people must have left by now, well, great, you are serious, you're not a Chintu. All right. 10th standard की maths आपने करनी है. Statistics you have to do, how to derive data out of a let us say a pie chart, out of a bar graph. What exactly is, let us say, the average, mean, standard deviation, all of that stuff. If some data is changed, what is the effect? Some basic geometry. R.S. Agarwal of 10th pretty much solves that out for you. But अगर आपने पूरी भी नहीं करनी हो, because I know that हम वकीलों की ज़्यादातर मैथ्स अच्छी नहीं होती, which is pretty much a fact. अगर आपको मैथ्स से डर भी लगता है तो भी at least data वाला portion करके रहिए, otherwise so that you don't end up leaving like 5 to 7 marks on the table. Those are easy marks. All right. So ज़्यादातर लोगों का यही section छूटता है. ठीक है, लास्ट में अगर if it is like a insanely difficult maths problem, then obviously you leave it out and you don't get hit by the punch that the examiner is trying to throw that at you. But then, you know, you must not, if you are like capable to tackle maths, which a lot of the science guys are, a lot of the CA guys are, then you know you pretty much take this shot and you make this your strength area. All right, and this is pretty much CLAT. What else is there to it? This is pretty much it. What is the hype? It is not the NEET, it is not the JEE, it isn't exactly as tough. There are not 15 lakh people sitting and taking the examination. There is no mad rush. In fact, this just may be one of the most easiest entrance examinations right after your 12th standard. Because if you see the science side, you don't want to do that. So take a very, very good shot at this. And because it is pretty much doable. Right? If it weren't, I would have been honest with you and then would have told you the same. But it is pretty much doable here, and it isn't exactly that tough. Or you know, hype wipe करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Look at it calmly and slowly. Maybe play this video back again. See this. I believe that it will be of significant help to you. All of this stuff. All right. Now what I want to do is that I want to shoot certain videos for CLAT. So I want to reshoot for the newer pattern, the older ones, तो अब बहुत सारे पड़े हुए हैं. So in the coming months, but for that I basically need a smart board, which hopefully will land up soon, because you know you can't be writing all those lengthy passages here. So we'll put it on the screen and then basically discuss them out with you. All right. So ठीक है जी. Now see you in those. Take care. Wishing you all the best. Get down. Tackle this exam this way. Pretty much doable, and you will get a NLU of your choice, provided that you are not a चिंटू, right? तो चिंटू जी को कहिए बैठ जाइए, आप अपनी पढ़ाई करते रहिए. See you.